Welcome. Thank you for your beautiful film and congratulations. Thank you for coming also to the talk.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation and thank you for staying for the Q&A.
Po mojem lahko jo še skupaj enkrat pozdravimo z aplauzom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I shall begin with the talk, and I also invited the audience, of course, to ask some questions or maybe tell an impression on the film. But perhaps to start, the film also conveys how it was made. But to talk with you about your point of view and perhaps to talk about the beginning, how did Kauter Ben Hania contact you for this role? How did she explain this film, and did you accept the role immediately or?
Okay, it's my third, Four Daughters is my third film with Kauthar. The first time we worked together was in The Man Who Sold His Skin. I had a small role with Monica Bellucci. And the second one is a short film on Netflix called The Slaughterhouse of Happiness. And for Four Daughters, and each time I had to do the casting, of course. And in Four Daughters, I was contacted by the assistant. And I was happy as she told me that it's for a film with Kauthar. And I knew since the beginning that it will not be a normal film, but it will be a very special film. As for the casting, I had to watch videos of Rahma and Ghofran in jail. And in the casting, I had to talk as myself, then talk as if I am Ghofran, then talk as myself, then talk as if I am Rahma. And when I had to talk as myself, I had to find points of similarity and points of difference between me and Rahma or Ghofran. And then they told me that I accepted for the role. And I didn't have a normal screenplay. The screenplay was like a bullet note of memories of the family. And I knew that it's not a fictional story. The story is real. The story of Ulfa and her daughters was on the media in Tunisia. And the character that I will have to play is not a fictional character. It's a real character. She's still alive. So we didn't have to invent things. We had to be as much loyal as possible to the character, to the real character. And normally when we receive a screenplay in a normal film, we have a screenplay, we read it, we start to prepare our character, and if we want to know more about the character, we ask the director. We ask the director about the inner world of the character, his dreams, his fears, his motivation. But this time, we didn't ask questions to the director, but to Ulfa, Aya, and Taysir. And their presence helped us a lot in understanding the character of Ghofran, for example.
And we see in the film the scene where you meet Aya, Taysir, and Ulfa. Was it a real first meeting? And also, after this scene, how did they accept you at first?
Yeah, it was a real scene. And well, Ulfa accepted me directly, as you can see in the film, because she found that we have some physical similarities, and also in the personality. Ghofran is quite smiling. She's more quiet than Rahma, than her sister, and she was very close to her mother. So I think it was one of the most difficult scenes because, as you can see in the film, after that, Olfa started to cry, and I didn't know what I have to do. Should I be happy because I look like her daughter? I look like the character, or it was very, very difficult to know how to deal with this situation. But after that, things went very cool. As you see, Olfa, Aya, and Taysir are very kind, are very funny. They have a funny way to talk about their story, and it went well quickly since the beginning, and we became close, and till now we are still close. We text each other, we ask about each other. And when we see each other in festivals, we're very happy to meet again. So the film created a bond between us.
And you said no script. How did then the shooting take place, for example? Maybe for the beginning, how long was the shooting?
The shooting was on 4 weeks, in 4 weeks. And we didn't have a normal screenplay, but we had a document in which there are some memories of the family from some situations from their life. And during the shooting, each day we come and the camera was rolling all day long. And sometimes we forget the presence of the camera. And we know from the beginning today we were going to talk about this memory, this situation, this... and we just start talking or reenacting. So in the scenes where we had to reenact so I was Ghofran, I was trying to be Ghofran. And in other scenes, as you can see, we're just being ourselves. We're not only actors, I was talking like Ichraq.
Would you say that Olfa and the two younger daughters are also kind of directors of the film in a way?
Yeah, as you can see, for example, when we ask Olfa, Taysir, and Aya about a certain situation, or how, for example, Ofran, what did she say at this time? How did she react? So, and we try to play, and sometimes no, they tell us no, it's not like that. No, she wouldn't tell that, or I think she would do that, not that. So they were kind of directing us.
Perhaps to ask the public if they have any questions, kakšno vprašanje, mogoče še od vas ali pa mnenje. I think it's a very, very powerful film. It's not that we are very talkative after watching it.
Yeah, I understand that.
You said that the first scene about when you met was a difficult scene. What was also difficult for you, as you said, that the positive thing of the shooting was this kind of sisterhood, which is also the theme of this festival that the film was shown at. What was the thing that was most heavy for you, but what was the contra of the heaviness?
But as I said, this scene, the first scene, the first time we met was, I think, the most difficult. But there's another scene, not difficult, but a difficult moment when Olfa asked me, would you like me to be your mother? And I was like, what should I say? If I will say no, she will get hurt. And if I will say yes, I would lie. So, and I was not prepared for this question, and I've never been asked this question. So, but the good thing about this film is that we had a safe space. Kauthar and the crew managed to create a safe space on the set. We had a very small crew, mostly feminine. And the fact that we had only one set, we felt like it was our home. And like we was a family and this was our home. And also before the shooting, we had like a meeting, and everyone should say what he likes, what he give permission to, what he doesn't like on the set, and in order to make it smooth, and to try to evite the difficult moments. So it was very cool during the shooting, and we cried. Yeah, it's because we were talking about difficult subjects and difficult memories of this family, but we laughed a lot also. And I think humor is their way to cope with their trauma. And it's a film that talks about a lot of heavy memories, but I think it's a universal film. The topics are universal because, yeah, it's real. The story is Tunisian. Olfa and her daughters are Tunisian, but the subjects are universal. It's a film that talks about motherhood, about sisterhood, about the relationship between mothers and daughters, about radicalization, about freedom, about love, about desire, about the impact of the political situation on the social situation and on families. It talks also about the job of actors. So that's why it's a universal film, and it can touch everyone on this planet. And also it talks about a very important point, which is the granddaughter of Olfa. And she is still in prison, and she's in an absurd situation. So I think this film wanted also to put the light on this topic also. So maybe the government can do something.
As you said, so many layers in this film. Also, the filmmaking layer is one of the layers. I mean, what is film? How does it connect to the truth? And how does it, I don't know, reproduce it in this way? And I was really, really amazed how sincere the film is, including all of you in the film and your answer to Olfa, for example. I, for example, was thinking after the film that this is the kind of film that changes you as a viewer, that you're not the same after you watch it. Would you say that this role did something similar to you?
Of course, it opened my eyes on something which is, the media talked a lot about the story of Olfa and her daughters, but it talked about it in a very superficial way. Yeah, it's not the role of the media, but in cinema, we dig deep into things, and we try to understand the many layers of this story. And in this film, there are some attempts to understand the human nature, to understand its contradictions, and what I liked is that there was no judgment during the film. We're just talking with each other, just trying to understand, not to judge.
Still again asking the public, mogoče kakšno vprašanje? Ja, prosim.
Yeah, thank you. First, just a big appreciation. Like, I'm deeply touched by what I've seen. Really, congratulations to you and the team for making such an amazing product. Maybe one question would be, if considering that this is a real story, so that the two people are still in prison, considering they're also the daughter, if there would be a chance in 10, 15 years, under, assuming that they will be released, and if there would be a sequel or some kind of chance to do another, movie about them, would you say yes?
Yeah, of course, I would say yes, because this story and this film touched me a lot, and I really want to meet the real characters and to ask them about what they think and to know the story from their point of view. And of course, it's always a pleasure to work with Kauthar, so I would definitely say yes.
Ще кешно прашање, хатаме мамуше кар.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you maybe stayed in touch with Olfa and the daughters and what this movie brought for them.
Yes, of course. As I said earlier, we're still in touch and we text each other from time to time and we ask about each other. What this film did for Olfa, Aya, and Taysir, we can see it in the film. And I saw it during the shooting. The relationship between Olfa and her daughters is not the same in the beginning of the shooting and in the end of the shooting. And I think this film offered Aya and Taysir a space in where they can feel safe and where they can express themselves freely with no fear. As you can say, during the film, they told their mother stuff that they couldn't tell in normally. So it offered them a space to talk freely and honestly and to say things as they are to each other.
There was another question.
Hi, thanks for the movie. It was great. Now, I'm wondering if you could tell us about the audience reaction in Tunisia. How did they react to this movie? Not only about this story about the two prisoners, but also the female body and things that you talked about in the movie, the politics and society and so on. Were there any reactions or any controversies or something like that?
Well, Tunisia was very happy for the film as it was selected in Cannes Film Festival, and it was the first Tunisian film who was selected in the official competition after 54 years, maybe. So they were happy and they were waiting for the release of the film in Tunisia. And when it was released, people liked it. Some people have told that it represents maybe the 10 years after the revolution in Tunisia. Some people found that it talks, they could relate in the topics and the scenes that they watched in the film. Of course, there are some people that said, no, this doesn't represent Tunisia. We are not that much conservative, etc. So yeah, it was very acclaimed in Tunisia.
Še kakšno vprašanje mogoče? Bo prinesel.
Thank you very much. The film is really disturbing, but at the same time, I think it's like a cinematographic jewel because we can see both like part of documentary and playing. Now, my question was, since we witnessed one male character not being able to finish the scene, were there any other instances, and what was the most difficult for you? Thank you.
Well, the actor, I think he didn't finish the scene because maybe he can answer this question better than me, but I think because he was not prepared to this, and maybe because he doesn't really know Aya and Taysir, and we all of us actors, we were not in our comfort zone in this film. So I can understand his reaction, but what's incredible is that the girl was asking him I need this scene. Okay, consider that I am an actor and I'm just saying the lines and forget about anything else. I need this scene. But maybe he was not prepared for this scene, and we are out of our comfort zone during this shooting. But for the difficult scenes, you asked me also, as I told you, the scene in which we met for the first time, and the other scene when Olfa asked me if I would like her to be my mother.
There is another question.
Hello. I really want to congratulate you for the film. I really enjoyed it. It was special experience. And I want to ask, what was the hardest part when you was shooting this film? You actually entered the family which didn't belong to them, and what was your hardest experience?
Sorry, I'm not. I can't hear you very well.
He's trying to ask you what was your hardest experience when you entered the family, actually, that you know only from the public. So what was your experience? How did you, what was the most difficult scene for you? Most difficult experience?
Actually, this film was very challenging for me as an actress because it's new, it's something new, and I am not used to play real characters and characters that are still alive. So I had to be as much loyal as possible to this character. I had to look like her. I had to put myself. I had to know as much information as possible about her in order to portray her in the best way possible, and also the fact that we didn't have any idea about how will the film look like at the end, because we were shooting all day long for 4 weeks, and we had a lot of rushes, and I was wondering what will remain, what will not after the editing. So I think she can she can do a series with all the rushes that she has. And so I was curious, and I like the final result, and I think that it portrays the complexity of this story.
So I think this movie had such a unique point of view. It was really amazing. I've never seen anything like it before. But one scene that maybe I found a little unexpected was the exorcism scene. And I was wondering how you approached it. Like, was it depression? Was it hysteria? Was it really paranormal? What do you think happened there with the character or the person?
What happened with Ghofran or what happened with me?
You and yeah, you.
Me as an actress?
Well, both. So
both.
How did you interpret it? Yeah.
Okay. I think in this scene I had to imagine like if Ghofran, she was haunted by a jinn, and it was kind of paranormal. It was kind of hysteria and hallucinations and epilepsy, kind of. But it went cool because she was prepared. As we see, she was in hysterical moment in her Gothic era. So after that, it was not very difficult to to do this scene. It was maybe cathartic to let out all the energy and the emotions stuck.
Okay, thank you. So if I recall correctly, the oldest two sisters were about 13 and 15 when they disappeared. Yes,
Yeah.
while you, as an actress, were obviously older than she was at the time.
Older, 2 years older only.
You were at the time when the film was shot, right? You were older.
I was, yeah.
Than the person you characterized, right? So I was wondering whether it was also challenging for you to play this role from this point of view, in the sense that you had to put yourself into a position of a
younger
child, actually.
Actually, it was not very difficult because I did other films in which I play younger characters also. I had 24 years old, so 10 years or 5 years younger. It was not very difficult for me.
Okay, thank you. But another question, sorry, were the songs that the four sisters sang in the film invented, or are they actually spread among?
In which scene?
In all the scenes, because there are many songs. I think
in some songs some songs are well-known songs in Tunisia. Some others are known only by extremist people, but we didn't invent songs.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would, Diane, ask you about the projection in Cannes, because I saw on the photographs that you were all together there.
Yeah.
Did you see the film for the first time on this projection? Oh, and was
yes,
exciting.
Yeah, it was a fairy. It was like a dream. It was magical. First of all, because we were all together. I think it was our first meeting after the shooting, with all the crew, with Olfa, Aya, and Taysir, Kauthar, Nadim, Hind, and it was fairy because it was my first time in Cannes. So, and it was also the first Tunisian film selected in the official competition after 54 years. It was magical, and I was very excited to see the film because, as I told you, the camera was rolling all day long, and we had too much, a lot of rushes, and I was eager to see what remained after the editing, what did not, what she didn't put in the editing. So I was convinced after there are some scenes that were not on the film, some scenes close to my heart were not in the film, but I understand the choices of Kauthar, and what's important here is to tell the story of Olfa and her daughters in the best way possible.
And you did.
Thank you.
I would then, if there are not any more questions for the end, just ask you about the safe space that you were mentioning. And You said everybody was asked what they want, what they don't want to do and say. What were other things that the crew kind of, how did they create this safe space, or what would you say that it's the most important thing of it, substance?
I think this film also portrays the female gaze. It's a story of a woman. It's made by a woman, and there was no judgment during the shooting, and we were like a family, and we stayed together for many days, and we shared a lot of intimate things. We talked about a lot of intimate topics, and we knew that we will be together for 4 weeks, and it should be in the best way possible, and we didn't have any difficulties to deal with each other, as there was a relationship based on equality, on understanding, on sisterhood, and no judgment, and bienveillance.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I would then complete this talk, and I would really like to thank you again for the talk, for the film, and we're looking forward to see you again on this screen.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Good night. Bye bye. Thank you. Merci.